In this video, we're going to be talking about molds. Molds can be one of the most challenging aspects when you're just starting to make bath bombs. People often ask, what can you use and where can you get them? So in this video, I'll go over the 3 most common options for the basic sphere or ball-shaped molds. There are a number of items that you can use to get a ball shape, but for now I'll focus on the 3 most popular, and then I'll compare them and help you identify which might work best for you. The first type is plastic or acrylic molds. These are clear plastic molds that are often referred to as Christmas ornaments. They are the most affordable of the 3. Price is going to depend on the size that you want, but a 3-inch set of 2 halves is around 60 cents to $1. These are what I started out with, and they worked great for me till I needed to replace them. The second type is aluminum molds. Aluminum molds are inexpensive and easily found on Amazon. Depending on the size, these usually range from around 50 cents to $1.60 per set of 2 halves. And the third type is stainless steel molds. These are just like the aluminum molds, except they are made from a thicker, dent-resistant metal. They're by far the most expensive of the 3, costing between $5 to $10 per set of 2 halves, depending on the size. But they're also the best quality and will probably last you a lifetime if treated well. So let's compare the 3. Sizes. You can find quite a few sizes for each of the 3 options, so there's no advantage for any one of them here. Availability. While all 3 are easy to find if you know where to look, the 2 metal molds aren't quite as widely available as acrylic. You can find the acrylic Christmas ornaments at pretty much any craft store. The other 2 are usually only found online, although plenty of companies carry them. But because you can buy acrylic at your local store, the point here goes to acrylic molds. Cleaning. Again, all 3 are easy to clean and dry, so no advantage here either. Packaging. If you ever want to give or sell your bath bombs and need an easy way to package them, you could put them back in the mold once they're dry, and that can be your packaging. So obviously the acrylic molds get the point here because they're clear, inexpensive, and are the perfect size for packaging. Durability. This is where you'll find the biggest difference between the 3. The acrylic mold can be quite brittle and may break or split if you're having a hard time getting the bath bomb out or if you don't treat them well. They won't last nearly as long as their metal counterparts. They'll last you a little while, but I promise you'll need to replace them soon enough. Aluminum molds are quite sturdy since they're made of metal, but if your bath bombs get stuck, you'll have to hit the mold with a spoon until it comes out. So these can dent quite a bit too. However, one thing you can use is cyclomethicone oil. I'll discuss this in the advanced ingredients section, but basically you coat the inside of the mold with it and it helps the bath bomb to come right out. It's a lifesaver and can prevent you from damaging your molds when the bath bomb mixture gets stuck to the mold. That is something you'll want to consider regardless of which of the 3 mold types you choose. And finally, the stainless steel molds. These are incredibly hard and dent resistant. They won't get damaged and will last you many years, if not a lifetime. So the advantage goes here to the stainless steel molds. And finally, price. This is another point where the 3 options vary significantly. The acrylic molds have the advantage here at around $1.50 or less per set. But because they can get damaged or break so easily, if you stick with acrylic molds for a long period of time, you could end up spending more than you would have with either of the other 2 options. Aluminum molds aren't too much more, costing around twice as much as acrylic, but stainless steel can cost 3 or more times aluminum molds. So if you go with aluminum molds and use cyclomethicone oil to help you get your bath bombs out, and therefore not damage the mold in the process, they could easily last many years. As for which one has the advantage, obviously acrylic molds are the cheapest. However, if you consider the fact that you'll quickly need to spend more to replace them, I think the advantage here goes to the aluminum molds. In the end, which one is right for you? It just depends. All 3 have their own pros and cons, and it may also depend on where you're at financially. You might want to start off with the acrylic molds to practice with, especially if you don't want to spend the extra money right off. Or you might want to jump right in with one of the metal options, knowing that they can last you many years. Personally, that's what I do. I recommend you start off with good quality molds. Using quality molds from the get-go will prevent additional frustration during the initial learning process. The metal molds will cost you more upfront, but if you treat them well and use them in conjunction with the cyclomethicone oil, they'll last years and won't crack or dent. So there you go. Hopefully this helps you identify some pros and cons of these 3 types of molds and which one you think is best for you to buy. And if you have any questions, please let me know.